and then share my screen.
This coffee is so good.
All right, so the test for a review. All right, so the first few were just playing with the graphing. So my first one was y equals a fraction 1 over 6 to the x. So most of y'all are probably just going to be graphing these on the calculators. So let me turn that on and clear. So probably the biggest thing on this, just put your fractions in parentheses. Get used to doing that. So do your parentheses. That'll be 1 divided by 6. And then hit your exponent of x. Now, remember, when these were whole numbers being hit with the exponent, the graph sort of went uphill, left to right. Since this is a fraction being hit with that exponent, the graph should go downhill, left to right. So fractions sort of go downhill.
So is he kind of at the top of the page for all y'all, like the top?
I pulled it down now. Is it better?
Okay, yes, thank you.
So it's going to be one of them two shapes. So let's hit enter and see what we get. And notice mine was the one that went downhill to the right. And y'all, there's going to be 4 distinct pictures on that. Just be careful because B went down below the x-axis. But remember, exponents can't change the signs of your answers to a negative, so there's no way we could be under the x-axis. So we would have to pick C, where that thing just comes down and does one of them asymptotes along that x-axis, okay? All right, so number 2 had a little bit more work to do to it. It was a f of x equals 2 to the x minus 4. Oh, let me draw that in real quick, I guess. All right, so on this one, we got to know what we started with for the basic graph. So the basic graph is y equals 2 to the x. It's always going to be the base hit with the exponent for the basic graph. Now, we want to know what that negative 4 is doing to my graph. So since I'm attacking the x, I'm going to go left or right. Since that's negative, this will actually move to the right 4 unit. Okay. So remember, you got to graph this one on MATLAB. So when you graph it, click the exponential tool. Click it on the graph, and then it's going to open up the boxes. We need to move the horizontal to the right to a positive 4. And y'all, the most important thing that kills people is, remember, down in the bottom left corner, it's going to put base. And in that base box, you got to put the 2. Whatever your base is, you got to put in that box. By default, remember, it has an E in there, okay? So you got to change it from the E to what number you're using for the base, and then it'll graph it perfectly for you. And then we can still use the calculator to help us. So I can put my 2 exponent x minus 4. If you have the old calculator, when you do the exponent, it's going to open up parentheses, put the x minus 4 in parentheses, and then close them.
Okay.
So the old calculator would look like this. 2, and then it gives you the exponent with the parentheses. Put in the x minus 4, close parentheses.
Yeah.
Okay. Then when we hit graph, we know it's going to sort of go uphill. And then notice it did move right, because usually that when that's about 1 hits it on the y-axis, so it pulled it over to the right. But when you put the moves in on MATLAB, it's going to move it for you, okay?
How many questions will this test be?
25.
Okay.
I did this one a little bit bigger because in a little bit we'll move really quick, because we'll do like log base 10 to 10 and pretty quick ones, okay?
Okay.
All right, this one's going to be the same thing as this one. I'm going to have f of x equals 2 to the x plus 3 minus 1. So I'm going to start with my basic graph again.
So is that one left 3 and down 1?
Oh, bam, look at that. Exactly right. So we're starting with the basic graph, y equals 2 to the x. And then you said move it left 3 units. Good job.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And down 1.
And then down 1 unit. Good job. Okay. So the same thing on graphing this when you're going to hit the exponential tool. Clicking on the graph, it's going to pop open. This one, we went left 3 units, so that would be horizontal 3 units to the left. And then you said vertical was what, down 1? So I think that would go left to go down 1. And then remember, change that base to a 2. So since we, the base and then the 2 moves, so let's see what that is going to do. So I'm going to clear that one out. So y equals 2 to the x plus 3. Now, the newer ones, you got to arrow down. On your older ones, at that point, you would close parentheses and then do your minus 1. So we know this one should kick
Look like
down.
that.
Maybe, 2 to the x. Yep, perfect. That is good. And then when you hit enter, we should get the same graph, Kelsey. It should be a little bit below the line and then left of the y a little bit more.
Yep, that's exactly what I got.
There you go. So they all do the same thing. We just got to sort of tell them how to put it in, huh?
Yep.
So do we need to have our, so when we use our calculator, we're just checking it, but do we need to, for this, right?
Yeah, I don't, yeah.
Okay, so do we need to mess with our window, our min or our max or
No,
any of that?
no,
Should
no,
we
I
have
wouldn't
it
mess
set
with those.
anyway? Okay.
The only ones I would mess, those will give you like a 10 by 5 or 10 by 10 graph to play with on those ones anyway.
So we could, and if we doubted, we could just make it like theirs.
I didn't put none on there like that last test where you had to figure out the end behavior and all that crazy stuff. So these ones, I would just leave my windows alone, graph them, and be done.
Okay. I was asking because mine's a little bit different than yours already, but I don't think it matters for this test.
Well, no, but if you want them to be perfect, just hit that zoom button and then go to number 6 for standard and hit
Oh.
enter, and then we'll all be the same graph for sure.
Oh, wow. Okay, thanks.
Okay. That's always how I sort of reset it every time, is just doing that zoom standard. All right, so here's little Melissa.
Yeah, cool.
So little Melissa on her 6th birthday. You know, Melissa's the little rich girl we talked about the other day. Her 6th birthday, she got a $4,000 CD that earns 5% interest, compounded quarterly. So if it matures on her 13th birthday, how much money is available? Now, I probably would have wrote this formula on the board for you. But here you go, write this down. Remember, it's going to be the amount equals. All right, let's see who remembers.
Not me.
Nope.
It's been a couple
Isn't it R
classes.
times
Uh-huh.
T?
So P for my principal balance. Then I had parentheses, 1 plus R divided by N, all raised to the N times T power. So remember, P is your principal balance or your starting amount. R is your interest rate in decimal form. N is the number of compounds. And T is the time. So we know P is her starting amount. That's going to be the $4,000.
Mm-hmm.
R is the interest rate. Well, that's 5%. I need to put that in decimal form. So let's see, 5%, you would move it left twice. So that'd be what, a 0.0?
0.05.
So I know R is going to be 0.05. N, I know N, y'all. What we going to put for N? That's what.
4.
What'd y'all say?
4, yeah.
4. Perfect.
Is it 4? Is that the quarterly or no?
Quarterly would be 4. Good job.
Mhm.
Yeah,
how about
and his
my-
number of times compounded.
So what y'all putting for time?
8 years?
Oh, let's see. We got it on her. She matures on her 13th.
7 years.
She got it on her 6th. So that would be, what'd you say, Kelsey?
7 years.
7 years.
Mhm.
So y'all, all we're going to do now, plug this into the formula and see what we get. So the amount will be the principal balance, 4,000, times parentheses, 1 plus 0.05 divided by 4. And the exponent will be 4 times T, which is 7. All right, so thank God this TI-83 will knock that out pretty quick. So let's see. Now, you better get amount bigger than 4,000, right?
Mhm.
If it's anything less than 4,000, we got operator error. So there's 4,000 parenthesis, 1 plus 0.05 divided by 4. Close those parentheses, and then exponent would be 4 times 7, or you can just put, what, 28?
Yeah.
So it'll be
Alright, so-
28th power.
Now, we're going to round this to the nearest cents. So, what's that? 5663. Point.
Okay. Apparently mine.
Is that
Oh,
what
hold on, I did it wrong. Never mind.
Don't do
And
it in your graph.
all right, what was the matter,
I didn't do
Kelsey?
that. I times everything by 28. I didn't raise it to it.
Oh, yeah. So yours raise it, and then it'll have your
That is
parentheses. But since it's just a 28, you could just put 28 on that exponent and kick it in. So did you get a
Yeah.
smaller
Problem is
number?
I didn't put it in the next one. I put it in as a times.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That way.
Okay.
And it ain't the right number.
All right, so you good now?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
So all that time and she only makes like $1,600?
Well, but she ain't but 13 years old. She got almost $6,000.
I would have loved to have had, 5
I'm telling you.
at the age of 13.
Yeah, but she already had 4.
But let's
We
check
gotta
this
figure out
out.
how to make it go bigger.
Let's check
quicker.
this out. She got $4,000. How long would it take her to double that money?
She
Remember,
only
that's
had
what-
5% interest too. 5% interest is not that much.
So figure that out right there, and you can figure out how long it'll take her to double it, which would be, let's see, ln of 2 divided by 0.05. What's that looking like? 13 point. So about 14 years, she would double her money.
Mm.
So she'll be 20 years old, have $8,000. That ain't bad.
Mhm. That's a good car.
Love to have
Let
had
me think.
$8,000 sitting in the bank waiting on me when I turned
Hey,
20.
Mr.
Listen,
Rathbun.
when I was 6, I got like
Mr. Rathbun.
$5.
Mr. Raffin, I need to step out for a minute. I gotta handle something with the business office.
Okay, so we're recording this, so you'll be able to catch everything.
So how many decimal points do we round it to? Just
To the
two?
nearest cents,
Oh, so just like point what? So
2025, something like that.
You'll
no,
be
for
they
ready.
want
like
you
this
to-
last one, it would be
I think I would have ended up with 5663.97.
That was what I
okay.
come up with.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, and you know what's crazy? I don't know how anybody does poorly on these tests because you have all your notes, unfortunately, Mr. Raffon.
Well, that's what I was telling someone the other day. I was like, why in the world, with everything going to online, would you drop this class at the moment? You're taking 2 chapter tests at home. You're taking a final exam at home. I mean,
Plus, you literally review
teach
and
your
I
way
mean,
through
you
this
pretty
class
much
the easiest right now. You know what I mean?
right. You're pretty much giving us the answers. I mean, you're not because it's different questions, but we're very prepared.
But I mean, if they would realize that, you would think they would catch on by now. But we work these study guides that are just like our test. Okay,
Good.
number 4, I might have not started with 4,000. I might have started with 5,000. But hell, you're going to work it the same way, ain't you?
Hmm.
I mean, I don't know.
Right. It's the same. You just plug in your own question,
Hmm.
the numbers.
But then I'll see a bunch of them that just gave up on us next semester.
Dude, you got to do it all over again.
All over. All right, so these ain't bad. We're just going to find logs, and most of y'all had these on your calculators. But this is a log base 10 of a 0.1. Now, when anytime you got decimals here or fractions, you're probably going to get negative exponents for your answers. But remember, since that's a log base 10, you can use that log that's right on front of that calculator. Hit log, put in a 0.1, and enter, and I get -1. So y'all check that. 10 to the -1 exponent equals 0.1. Okay?
Hold
So that's
on.
going to be -1.
So the log button. Oh, I did
Uh-huh.
LN, I think. Never mind.
By the 7 over there. And then the
Thought
LN,
about it,
remember,
yep.
we use for the E, okay? All right, so this is log base 4 of 4 to the 2nd power. So anytime this base matches that result, the answer will be that exponent of 2. But y'all remember, log base, I can do the math button, go down until I find log base, hit enter, and then I would put in my 4 for my base, and then that's 4 squared, so I can hit 4 exponent 2. We can make them look just the same, and then when you hit enter, you still get a 2. So remember, base matches result, answer is going to be that exponent. Because remember, I could have brought the exponent down, right, using the power rule, and then work it that way. How about this? Log base 10 of 1. Those ones should be pretty quick, because there's only one number I can raise anything to make that a 1, and that would be a 0. Y'all just had that on my quiz, I think, my bonus, right?
Yeah.
When
All right,
was
now
it?
number 8, we're going to convert to logarithmic equations. So I'll write that, convert to logs. So I got 10 to the 3 equals 1,000. So I'm going to write it with a log. So I got my log. My base is the 10. The result is that 1,000, so that's going to go next. That's going to equal the exponent of 3. Okay, so that's all we're doing on that. Rewrite it and be done. 9, same thing. I got e to the 4 equals m. Now this one, it should take this one right here, this number 8 I did. It should take that as just a log of 1,000 equals 3. Because remember, if you write a log, it's understood to have that 10 there, okay? So the e, since that's the e, I'm going to use the ln as my base. Because remember, ln is a log base e. The result is the m, and that's going to equal the exponent of 4. It'll take it like that, or you could have actually did the log e of m equals 4. Either way. If you do it one of these two ways and it marks it wrong, I'll give you credit on it on that test, okay? It should take it either way, though. All right, now we're going to convert to exponential. So we're going the other way. So log base 5 of 25 equals 2. So I'm going to rewrite it as exponential. So my base is the 5. Exponent is the 2. And 5 squared has to equal 25. And when you got numbers like this, it's got to be a true statement. And 5 squared is 25, so that would be a true statement, okay? All right, let's see what this is. A log base m equals -2. So now they're just using the letters to try to mess with us. So we're going to write our base, which is the a. Exponent is that -2. And a to the -2 has to equal that m. All right, 12, we're just going to use the calculator. So we're going to use a calculator to find ln of 350.1. Now, I'm going to round these 4 decimal places. But y'all, these are just on the calculator. So let's see. We got an ln button by the 4. And then I'll just punch in my 350.1 and hit enter. So I'm rounding 4 decimal places. So I'm going to have to bring this up where I can see. Looks like 5.8582. So you just want 4 places after that decimal, okay, and then be done with that. All right, y'all, this one says use change of base. So change of base came about before they gave us that log base feature in the calculator. So if you got the log base, use the log base, okay? But change of base for 13, we got a log base 3 of 17. Because remember, I got people that couldn't do the log base on their calculators. So what they got to do for change of base is do the log of 17 divided by the log of the 3. It's always the 17 divided by the log of the 3. Now, if you got the newer calculators, I would hit math, go down to log base, hit enter. And then you can put in the 3, arrow over, put in the 17. So log base knocks it out pretty quick. And
Are
notice I
those
got what?
4 decimal places also?
Mm-hmm. Now,
You said it'll give us, when we do the log base, if we're doing
uh-huh.
it in our
So-
calculator, we would go to math, log base, and you said we put 3 first and then 17?
Always put the little base first and then the 17, and it should look just like it does on that problem when you get done putting it in there. Now, I wanted you to see that answer. Now, I think it was Kelsey that didn't have the log base. So on his, we would do log of 17, close parentheses, divided by the log of the 3, close those parentheses. And notice I still get what, 2.57?
8, 9. Mm-hmm.
Is that an 8, 9?
Yes,
And
sir.
then be done, okay?
Mhm.
So either way, I get the same answer.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that the older ones had to do what we call the change of base, okay? All right, express as a sum. So I got a log base 5 of 5 times 25. So rewrite it as being added. You just got to distribute that log 5 to everybody so that you get a log 5 of 5 plus a log 5 of 25. So they're now expressed as a sum, and we're done.
So
15
we're not
is,
doing them, we just enter them like that.
do what now? These would have come out of probably,
So we're not doing them, we're just entering them.
yeah, we're just writing them as a sum. Now, sometimes if it says
Mhm.
write as a sum and simplify if possible, then I might have tried to, I know log base 5 of 5 is 1, log base 5 of 25 would be 2. So I could actually work that if I wanted to, but no, they just wanted us to stop there.
So what would it be, like 3?
Mm-hmm. Right, because remember, 5 to the first power is 5, so that would be a 1.
Mm-hmm.
Here, 5 squared is 25, so that would be a 2. And the 1 plus 2 would make that a 3.
Oh, yeah. Okay. But it didn't ask us, but yeah.
No, but pretty cool when you can do that, ain't it?
Right.
All right, expense as a product, log base 10 of z to the 20. Now, when they say express it as a product, all they want me to do is take this exponent 20 and bring it down to the front.
Mm-hmm.
So that I get a 20 log base 10 of a z. So now 20 is being multiplied by that exponent, so it's a product now, so we're happy, okay? It's nice. A lot of these are just that one step and then you're done. Now this one we're going to
Mhm.
rewrite as sums or differences. So now we're jacking it up just a little. I got a log base d of x squared y to the 7th z. So the thing I'm realizing that since these are being multiplied, we're going to write them as a sum. So we're going to distribute the log d to all 3 factors. So I get a log d of x squared plus my log d of y to the 7th plus my log d of the z. And then y'all, one more thing I'm going to do to this.
Move the exponents in front.
Mhm.
So 2 of them had exponents. I'm going to move them to the front. Good job. So I get 2 log base d of x plus a 7 log d of y, and then plus my log base d of z. Okay, so rewrite those and then remember to get them exponents brought down to the front. Okay. All right, so the next one's even funner. So let's see, 17, which most of y'all on here do homework, so these ain't probably too shocking to y'all. All right, sums and differences again. I got log base B. On top is a P4Q5. All that's over M5B9. So these are the ones, if it's on top, I'm going to rewrite it being added. If they're on bottom, they're going to be subtracted. I'm going to distribute log B to all four factors. So log B, P to the fourth, plus log B, Q to the fifth. Now the ones on bottom are getting subtracted, so minus log B, M to the fifth, minus log B, B to the ninth. So my next move is to bring all those exponents to the front. Now, there's a log B of B right there. That log B of B part equals 1.
9.
That's just going to give me a 9. Good job. So what's that give me? 4 log B of P plus, what's that, a 5 log B of Q minus 5 log B of M minus 9. So anytime those bases match, the answer will be the exponent on that part, okay? So that is sort of tricky because you had to realize the bottoms got subtracted and then take care of that log B of B.
1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, y'all. So then we started getting into the simplify. So they got a ln in parentheses x squared plus 11x plus 18 minus a ln of a x plus 9. So to simplify this, I first want to rewrite this as a single logarithm. So since they're being subtracted, it's going to be rewritten as a quotient. Good, bless you.
Thanks. Sorry.
So I got the ln on top, since this part's positive, will be the x squared plus 11x plus 18. That'll go over the x plus 9. It went to the bottom because it was being subtracted. So it's basically doing the same thing we did up here. Now, to simplify this, since that top is a trinomial, I'm going to see if it will factor. So since that's the x squared in front of both parentheses, I'm going to put an x. Since this 18 is positive, I got like signs, so both of these will be positive. Now, y'all going to stop there. I can tell you the numbers I'm going to use by looking at that bottom. Because in the bottom, you got a 9, right? If this is going to simplify, one of these factors better have a 9 in it, right? So what will 9 multiply to make it 18?
2.
2.
9 plus 2 equal 11, like that middle, right?
11.
All right, so let's put our 9 and 2. So you can almost use the bottom of these to help you factor because you know what you need anyway, right? So now we cancel out those x plus 9s, and our final answer is the ln x plus 2. Now remember, keep that in parentheses because everything's being affected by that ln on that answer, okay? All right, 19 is the same thing. Log of parentheses x squared plus 2x minus 8. I'm going to bring that over. That's minus log of parentheses x squared minus 16. So y'all, that's x squared minus 16, okay? So these are being subtracted. I'm going to write them as a quotient. So I got log. On top is the x squared plus 2x minus 8. On bottom is the x squared minus 16. Both of those are quadratic, so I'm going to factor both of these, the top and the bottom. Now, if you got trouble factoring, you got the calculator programs I gave you. You could hit program, go to factor,
Oh yeah.
and then start it up like you would the quad. So the numbers for the top would be a 1, 2, and a -8. So the top factors into what? X plus 4, x minus 2. So that's x plus 4, x minus 2. The bottom I can factor. The bottom, A is 1, B is 0 because there's no x, and C would be -16. But y'all, that's perfect squares, so I should get what, a 4 and a 4. So I get an x plus 4, x minus 4. Now, if you use the quad
And
would
we
have gave you the
cancel
final
those out.
answers. So you sort of would have had to went back and put it in factor form. All right, what did you just do now? Mandy, I heard something, but I didn't catch
We
it.
cancel those x plus 4s out.
Cancel them out. So my final answer will be a log x minus 2 over x minus 4.
I appreciate that you just walked us through it and you factored it with us, even though it's supposed to be easy by now. But then you told us, oh yeah, if y'all have trouble, we do it this way.
Yeah, that's how I do on all my programs. I try to get you doing them by hand first.
Yeah,
But then
because
once
I
you
almost
get,
felt confident.
and then after that, technology don't mind to help us a little. All right, so we're
When
gonna
I was
solve.
doing the study guide for the final exam, I forgot about the Kramer 3, just completely forgot that it was a thing. So I like do all of this stuff and then I'm like,
But you
there
did it
was a
by hand,
program
right?
for that.
You canceled out your X's and your Y's and you got your Z's
Yeah.
and all that fun stuff. What's
Yeah,
funner than that?
did all that.
What's funner than
What?
that? What's funner than that?
I mean,
I had a lot of things.
I kind
No,
of
no,
liked
no.
it, so
But then-
it was okay.
No, but then she went in and she said, damn, look at this answer, X, Y, Z. It all matched up, right?
Yeah, it
So then
did.
you was like really happy, right?
I mean, I would have been happier if I didn't have to do like an entire like page and a half of work,
See,
but
Mandy,
you know.
why would you take that away from yourself, though?
Oh, but hold on. You're about to go into a stats class, right? And you know, stats classes might take a whole table of
Yeah.
information and have to plug
Well,
it
you're
into
about to come
something.
with us, Mr. Rathbon.
Yeah, I'm trying on that. And so we're about to start picking, I think, in
You're
a week
about to
or
come
two,
with
so.
us, Mr. Rathbon.
All right, y'all, here you go. Solve for X. I got 5 to the 2X equals 125. So this one, I made that we could rewrite. So I'm going to rewrite 125 as 5 to some exponent. So let's see. 5 times 5 is what, 25? 25 times 5 is 125. So since I did that 3 times, I'm going to rewrite 125 as 5 to the 3rd. So I get 5 to the 2x equals 5 to the 3rd. So now I'm happy because the bases match. Since the bases match, I now know that 2x has to equal 3. And then y'all finishing that out, divide both sides by 2. And let's see, I can't do nothing to 3 halves, so that's going to stay 3 halves. So check that answer. If you put that 3 halves in for that x, the 2's cancel, and 5 to the third will give you 125.
So we never did decide on your fall schedule, did we?
I'm waiting on our picking. We don't get to pick yet until about another week or
Oh.
2.
Oh, okay.
But when I pick, I'm going to try for, what was it, stats? Was it Tuesday or Monday? 9:25.
Was it
Tuesday and Thursday.
9:25 though, right?
I think it was 10:30
I think it was 10:30.
or
Is
10,
it 10:30?
10:50. 10:50
All right, let me
or
write
it was
that
in the 10. It was in the 10 o'clock hour.
So it'll be 10:50 then. All right, I
Yeah.
got
Let me
that.
go. I'll look.
Tuesday, Thursday. Okay.
Yeah,
I like
go
that
look,
time.
Mandy.
So
Yeah, because it wasn't as early. I'm sure it wasn't 9.
Yeah,
Right.
because we don't have the other class.
right.
I'm showing
And Tuesday, Thursdays
10:50
are
to
always.
12:05.
No, you're right.
Yes,
Because
that was-
Tuesday, Thursdays are always start at 8. Then they got a 9:25 class, a 10:40. I mean a 10:50 class. Then they go to like 12:15.
Yeah.
But they're changing Monday, Wednesday, Friday back to old style. Monday,
That's
Wednesday,
crazy.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday will be 1 hour classes for 50 minutes. So you can get more done in those days.
That's
All right.
why I'm not doing Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, because the girl gotta work, okay?
There you go.
Right. Tuesday, Thursday, all year.
But if you're working, Monday, Wednesday would be, well, yeah, 2 days.
Well, you
versus
could
3.
do a
Okay.
full schedule. You could do 4 classes on Tuesday, Thursday. That's what I
Mhm.
did last semester.
Yeah, that's what
Mhm.
that's what I did Monday and Wednesday this semester.
Mm-hmm.
All right, y'all. So here's one just like number 20, except I cannot rewrite the 10 this time with a 3 base. So since I can't match the bases up, I'm going to take LNs of both sides. So LN of 3 to the x will equal LN of 10. The reason I did that was because now, since it's written as a log, I can bring the x down to the front. So I get an x ln 3 equals a ln of 10. And y'all, final step, divide by the ln of 3 on both sides. So since you're dealing with LNs, this will be estimated to 4 decimal places. So I would do my ln of 10, close parentheses, and then divide that by, what was it, the ln of 3, close parentheses. So when I hit enter, I get what, 2 point, is that 09?
0959.
And a 9, okay. Okay. Now, y'all could have done that on this problem over here. You could have did LNs and then divided and stuff and got to the same answer, but they're easier if you can rewrite them as the same base, okay? All right, so what's that? 21, so 22. 22, solve for t, e to the negative 0.59t equals 0.51. So the first thing you would do to this, we need to get the exponent brought down, is take an ln of both sides. Because y'all, what that's going to do is now bring the exponent down to the front. So we get a negative 0.59t. Now, I'm not going to draw the ln of e because remember, ln of e equals 1. So since that part equaled 1, all that's left over here is the exponent. That's going to equal the ln of 0.51. Okay, so when when a log matches its base, the answer is always that exponent, okay? Now, my last step, divide by the negative 0.59. And once again, I'm going to estimate this about 4 decimal places. So I got the ln 0.51, close parentheses, divided by negative 0.59. All right, so I'm going to get what, a 1.14. That might be what, a 1, and I think that's going to round up to a
3.
3. That looks like a 6, right?
Yes.
And don't try to enter them in math lab saying x equals 1.1413.
Oh, I know, you just got to put them answers in it and stuff, because that is the pickiest little machine.
The variables, yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, so continuing on, log, solve for x. I got a log base 4 parentheses 2x minus 6. All that's going to equal 4. So when they give you a log and they want you to solve it, you rewrite it as exponential. So your base is 4. Your exponent is a 4. And 4 to the 4th power has to equal the 2x minus 6. So remember, base, exponent, result. Now, to solve this, I'm going to figure out what 4 to the 4th power is. So 4 exponent 4 is going to give you 256 equals my 2x minus 6. All right, so this is just now solve this for the x. So I'm going to add 6 to both sides. What's that? 262 equals 2x. And then divide by 2 and be done.
131.
131. Okay. All righty, that gives me what? 2 more to go.
So is this test going to be open right after this class, or do we have to wait till after support?
Oh, as soon as we're done, I'll go open it up for you.
Okay.
Okay. I probably won't do support today because all we're doing was reviewing.
Well, Mr. Rathbone, unless you have something to do, could you at least just like spend a few minutes with me? And I'm not saying we have to knock out everything that.
Oh no, I can do it. We'll just take a break then, and I'll come back.
Just if we could make any progress.
We'll do that.
Okay, no problem.
All right, y'all. Log base 3, b plus 14 minus log base 3, b plus 6 equals a log base 3 of a b. So that's a b plus 6 right here. Oh, hell, I'm going to rewrite this. Log base 3, b plus 14 minus a log base 3 of b plus 6 equals a log base 3 of a b. There, a little better. So log equations, the first thing, now I'm happy I got logs on both sides because this will be pretty quick in a second, but the first thing we got to do is rewrite those 2 logs as a single log. They're being subtracted, so it's going to look like a quotient. So we bring out our log base 3. On top will be the b plus 14 over the bottom, which is the b plus 6. So remember, it's being subtracted, so it's got to go to the bottom. Oh, that's going to equal a log base 3 of a b. So we're really happy now because both sides have a log base 3. So since the log bases match, I know that this result, b plus 14 over b plus 6, has to equal the right side result of a b. All right, so I'm going to solve this one by cross multiplying. This top gets multiplied by the 1, so that's 1 times b plus 14. That's going to equal the other top times that bottom, which will be the b times the b plus 6. So the easiest way to do a fraction equal a fraction, cross multiply those, and then distribute. So here you just get the b plus 14. On this side, you get a b squared plus 6b. So it's going to be quadratic because of the x squared terms. So we need everything on one side equal to 0. So we're going to subtract a b from both sides. We're going to subtract a 14 from both sides. This side now gives me a 0. This side would be b squared. Let's see, 6 minus 1 gives you a positive 5b minus 14. So at this moment, you could factor that. You could do quad to it. Anything you got to do. I'm going to factor it. So I know there's a b and a b. That's negative. So one's positive, one's negative. Factors of 14, that'll give me 5 or 7 and 2. The larger number has the same sign as the middle, and the 2 will be negative. And then finally, set both of them equal to 0. So minus 7 on the first one. And let's see, that's going to be add 2. So I get b is a negative 7, b is a 2. Can I keep both those answers?
No.
Oh,
You gotta get rid of the negative one, right?
right, because up here where I got that b at, if I put that negative 7 in, it would give me an error. So I cannot keep a negative 7, and the only answer would be b equals 2. So what makes this one sort of longer is because that you're having to solve it by doing all the factoring and stuff, okay?
But we could just quad it.
At this point where I had equal to 0, you could have hit it with the quad right there. And then the quad actually would have spit out the negative 7 and 2 for you, okay? All right, ooh, number 25, and that's the last one for you. Solve for x. Log base 2, x plus 7, plus log base 2, x minus 7, equals 5. So I sort of put one in here where you could use the log base. Now this one I can't use the log base because this side don't have a log. So this one I'm going to have to end up rewriting as exponential. But the first step is going to be rewriting the 2 logs as a single log. So that'll be a log base 2, x plus 7 times x minus 7. All that's going to equal 5. So they're being added, they get written as a product. While ago they were being subtracted, so they got written as a quotient. Now, I'm going to multiply that real quick. Since these are conjugate pairs, I'm going to multiply the x times x and get an x squared. And then the 7 times negative 7, get a negative 49. All that's equal to 5. All right, so conjugate pairs, you don't have to FOIL the whole thing because the positive 7x's and the negative 7x's always cancel on those. All right, so here we go. I'm going to rewrite it as exponential. Base is 2. Exponent is the 5. And 2 to the 5th has to equal x squared minus 49. All right, so what we're going to do is turn that 2 to the 5th power. Let's see what 2 times itself 5 times will give us. And that's going to be 30.
32.
So 32 equals x squared minus 49. All right, y'all, it's x squared, so we need a 0 equal to everything. So I'm going to subtract 32. So I get my 0 equals x squared minus, what's that equal? 81? All right, so if I was going to factor this, now you could quad that 1, 0, negative 81 and get your answers. If I want to do this, that last sign's negative, so one's positive, one's negative. Anytime you got two terms like this, what's going in these parentheses is what's the square root of that 81? Y'all got that
9.
square? So that'd be a 9 and a 9. So if you quadded it, it probably gave you 9, negative 9 on that, okay?
So it's just going to be 9 because we have to get rid of the negative 1.
There you go, because let's see, that negative 9, when I put it in here, negative 9 plus 7 makes that part a negative 2. And I can't take the logs of those negatives, so there you go. So you kicked
And we
out
passed our test.
All right, so there y'all go. Well, let me put that there. So, all right, so I'm going to click over and stop this record.